Oh, my homosexuals. I have so much to inform you all on. I had such a great day, but more than that, just getting into it right off the bat, I have never been so upset and disgusted with my effort, while simultaneously never been more proud. You know, I had a comeback of comebacks today. So just context-wise, today I start my job at the hospital. I've given a little bit of here and there information about it. I am starting 12-hour night shifts in the psych ward. It's going to be a little cuckoo, but, you know, it's a great experience for what I want to do in my life, and I'm extremely thankful for the fact that I even got the job with as little experience that I have. So I'm excited either way. You know, it's something to keep me busy. I love being on a work schedule. You need enough money to get by and make sure you got that food, water, shelter locked down like I'm always telling you. But it's still a lot. And with the back and forth changes of my schedule of, you know, I had to do orientation for a while. That was different. I've now got to get used to doing my 12-hour shifts. That's going to be a lot. And mixed with the gym, being social, getting my meals in alone, finding time to rest properly, it's a lot. It is inevitably a lot on the body and the mind. So, you know, going to the gym a lot earlier today, I got in at like noon. And I normally get in at like 5. So I only had one meal in me. I'm tired. And, you know, naturally, I'm nervous for my first shift on the floor. It's just, I'm excited, to learn new things and meet new people. But it's always a little bit of like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen, you know? So I got in today at the gym and I was just already tired. It was all tunnel vision. Did not feel good. Did not feel like whipping under the bar. It was a lot to handle all at once, and I'm not going to lie to you. This is probably the worst clean and jerk session I have had in a long time. You know, I'm going to put it on the video because this is what positive perspective of the past means, and hoping for a better future while doing your best in the present moment. It looks awful. It felt awful. I did not do well today. But that's just as much reason that I need to try harder next time, find new ways to do better, and, you know, look back on this workout as like, okay, this is how bad it was last week. Let's try to crush it next week, you know? And then I'll have that validation and that passion built up from, you know, superseding my own limitations in such a short amount of time, or however long it takes, because it really doesn't matter how long. But either way, it looks awful. It was not good. I just could not lock it in for the life of me. And so on the third set, I was having a conversation with one of my gym buddies, and he was like, well, dude, when was the last time you did pre-workout? And I have a back and forth mindset of pre-workout where there are the people who depend too much and the people who do not depend at all. And I always tell people that you never want to be either. You want to be in the middle for what your body needs. So if you don't need any pre-workout, don't take it, you know? If you need, like, I've been taking sour gummies just to get myself to wake up a little bit. That's been enough. But now that I'm working and I'm so much more tired and drained and my schedule's different and the food isn't all there when I need it to be, I was like, well, I tell everybody that you might as well try something once just to see what happens and to see if it truly, truly makes you better for the long run. And so after my third set of clean and jerks, which were all awful, I locked in a bit more on the second and third set, and I know that it might look a lot better than what I'm explaining, but for my standard of athleticism and skill in this sport, it was abysmal, the amount of effort and energy it needed for 80%. You know, it should not have been hard. At least not like how it felt today. It's always going to be difficult, but it should not have been a question of whether or not I could stand it back up. And especially in that first working set, when I leaned forward on the second one right off the bat, like, that's embarrassing for what I stand for what I try to excel through, because I was taking steps backward in that moment. So you can either eat shit and have a shitty workout or go home and quit, or you can try something new and see if it works and do your best in that moment. So I was doing slightly better through the second and third set, but just was not doing well, and I could feel my body giving out. And I realized in that moment that it was a matter of, it wasn't my program not working, it wasn't my typical workouts being shitty, or, you know, I just got back on squatting normally, so I'm getting my core strength back, but that's not, it wasn't a matter of my physical exertion during these lifts at the bare bones of it. It was having the absolute mentality, that drive, that passion to throw yourself under the weight with as much energy and explosiveness as possible, because it's required. If you're going to strength build, you have to be able to lock that in, and it's a lot easier to do that when you hit a really heavy day where you're trying to hit new weights or test out some new heavy cycles. But today was a all volume, lighter weight kind of day, and my body just wasn't having it. And especially since I have to go up in weight every single week from now, it's going to be harder every single time. So I have to make sure I get this down now. And so you do not want to depend on pre-workout, over depend. You need to just depend on it to the point where you are happy with the energy you're putting in, and it's not making it to where you become an actual fucking addict, to where you don't need it, but it makes those really, really hard days doable with the same amount of exertion that you want to have on your best days. So I drank that bottle, man, and at least like the last set felt better. It wasn't perfect by any means, but it got better. But dude, by the time I hit front squats and clean pulls, I was killing it. And no, I say this a lot. When you get over dependent on pre-workout, that's placebo effect, because it's not going to hit you as much as it normally does, and your body's going to be used to all that caffeine. So anytime you take it, you don't really need it in that moment, because it's not going to give you any more push than you already had. So what I want to do, because of how actually locked in I was, it literally put me in the mindset, it voluntarily or involuntarily put me in the mindset where I gotta whip it as hard as I can. I gotta explode as much as I can. I gotta lock that in as best as I can. And what I want to do is I am not gonna be one of those guys who just keep taking more and more and more every single day, because that is an over dependence. I don't want to have that kind of issue, because I used to, and it makes you lift worse in the long run, even though those first initial workouts are really good. So you have to balance it. Like I said, you don't want to be the guy who's over dependent or too independent. You want to meet right in that middle ground where you have the most amount of enjoyment, passion, and energy for what you're trying to do. And for me, what that's looking like is we can do a full scoop on one of these days where it's either my heavy clean and jerk or my heavy snatch day. Every day, like that day after my rest day, since I did nothing the day before to wake me back up. And then on my lighter days where I do squat or bench mixed with light Olympic lifts, I'll just do half a scoop, and that'll make it to where I can balance out that energy on the days I truly, truly need them. And even better, on days like today where I have to go in earlier and I have not enough food in me and whatever. Out of all the excuses I can make for why I felt like shit that are my fault, that are, I'm trying to adhere to the schedule that I have put myself in for the work that I'm trying to do, those are the times where you have to understand your limitations and say, okay, well, in the long run, am I going to be hurt more by avoiding the pre-workout or whatever additive you want to take to make yourself feel at 100%, or will it make you better in that moment that you're at a low point and mentally you're there, physically you're there. It's just the amount of energy that's actually in your body cannot give you enough output to match that, And I know so many people taking pre-workout, and it is either, they're great, they never have issues because they don't do too much. I don't drink coffee, I don't do energy drinks. So I'm fine when it comes to how much I'm already drinking when it's just one scoop every day, at the most, maybe half a scoop. But the people who have issues, I used to have such bad anxiety because of how much I was taking, are the people who get used to it, and instead of going down some days, they decide to up the ante and take way too much every single day. The people who are pushing 500 milligrams or more, that's what scares me. That's what you don't want to do. But either way, it allowed me that variability to bring the passion back. Give myself a reason in the moment that, while it's still my own, it just made it a little bit easier to get there. I mean, look at anybody who has, really intense ADHD or autism. You don't want to be over dependent on ADHD meds like Vyvanse or Adderall, but you want to take them just enough to where you can function properly and give it your absolute 100% in that moment. That's at least the way I see it, because taking a substance or an additive to make yourself a little bit more boosted throughout the day isn't inherently an awful thing, because a lot of people compare it to drug use. It's not like that. It's just a matter of you got to maintain it and have balance, like with everything. Everybody drinks alcohol. Yet that's one of the biggest killers in this country, because the people who do too much end up going too hard and affecting other people or affecting themselves to a negative degree. You want to have that balance, I barely drink once a month, and it's only when other people call me out, I'm not sitting here trying to drink my heart out every night, because I know it will make my life worse when it comes to how much I want to go to the gym, how much I want to go to work, how much I just want to properly function throughout the day, So whether you have a bad habit or a good habit, that's not what, it's good to have a mix of both that make you happy, I guess is my main point. Because everybody's going to have the bad habits where, like, maybe you drink too much soda, maybe eat a little bit too much junk food like me, But just like that, I also have the great habits, like going to the gym every day, going to work, having a great social life, having loved ones around me in a positive environment. That counteracts these bad habits that get you to the point where you can function so well no matter the situation. So if you're in a rut and if you're literally not able to properly function the way that you typically would, like I was today, because you'll see the difference in my effort. My front squats were immaculate, especially compared to last week. Oh, it's good to recognize your own weakness and do just enough to make you happy and passionate without negatively affecting your mind and your mental and physical health. It can get controversial, I know, but it's really just a matter of, are you going to look at it as something that's tearing you apart, or are you going to look at it as something that you can control to make yourself an even better version of yourself? But that's just me. I know I'm yapping a lot. Take it with a grain of salt. This is just my experience, but with how much exertion I'm putting in at the gym every single day, especially with these 12-hour graveyard shifts in the psych ward, might I add, and I start school full-time tomorrow or Monday, it's a lot, So I'm going to recognize my weakness, and, I'm going to drink a little bit of energy, have fun a little bit, live a little bit, fuck around a little bit, but not to the point where it fucks up my life negatively, The usage will be purely positive. So if that means going less on an easier day, absolutely. If that means doing a little bit more when I'm at an absolute bottom of the barrel type of energy situation, sure. But I'm not going to be that guy that goes in and says, oh, well, I feel good, but I'm just used to taking 500 milligrams of pre-workout every day, so fuck it, 600, I guess. It's like every lift I do, there is a purpose for every single thing I do in my program. So this pre-workout isn't just going to be a thing of fun and a thing of fuck around and find out. It is merely a tool for me to progress and positively impact my personal life with what I want to put out. It's as simple as that. That's all. That is what I want to come out of it, because I feel better. Honestly, the gym is the best therapy you can get. Absolutely. But you need to have a good mindset when you are trying to consistently go and discipline yourself, so that you can have that overarching passion above the obligation and the feeling of like, oh, I just want to go home. I don't want to be at the gym, because that's what's going to tear you down. You want to go to the gym with purpose. So just like with everything I do, this new additive is going to have purpose. I think the reason I struggled so much in the past with pre-workout and why I kept trying to get off it fully was because I was so overdependent without realizing it, that I thought pre-workout was inherently bad. And it's not the case. Just like with any bad habit, you just gotta have balance. With everything in life, balance. Anyway, I know I talked way too long, but I'm at least gonna let you know how I'm doing now. Because don't get me wrong, when I got in there physically, I was not feeling any better than a 7. Maybe honestly a 6.5 kind of deal. But when I'm looking at the whole workout together with the front squats and the clean pulls included, although the clean and jerks may have been better if I took the pre-workout sooner and got that energy a little bit sooner without working out with tunnel vision and a bad mindset, I'm gonna accept what my effort was today and how I can grow next time so that I can make the most progress as possible. So the whole workout combined, I'll physically give it 8.35. And because it would easily have been in the 9s if clean and jerks went better. But I have to meet that middle ground and understand where my body was at so that I can actually improve. And not only improve, but be able to actually recognize where I am improving, so that I can make notes of that and have that experience ingrained in my mind forever, But mentally, I'm excited. I'm feeling good. I'm happy with the effort I'm putting in. I'll give it an 8.6 for sure. I feel great. Again, it would have been higher if that initial part of the workout was better. I had the heebie-jeebies about my new job. I just was not feeling good. It was a lot. But I am so happy and so grateful for the things that I have. And dude, the people, no wonder so many people 20, 30, 40 years ago were taking steroids. Like, nobody had pre-workout yet. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. I understand why people make it now, because goddamn, it can really make a difference as long as you balance it with what your body is capable of intaking, The level that you can intake, you have to be able to output it at the same rate without over-depending on it. That's what I think. So anyway, that's all I got. I will be back tomorrow. You'll get to hear how my 12-hour shift goes. That'll be so much fun. But I'm going to get through it either way, It's going to be a 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. kind of deal. But I'm going to make the best of it, Why not? I'm going to go in there, just put in 100%. And even though I'm new, I don't know a lot, I'm going to try to make it a great learning experience, meet as many new people as I can, and just have an overall positive experience so that I can do better every single day. Because this is the situation and the environment that I chose to put myself in. So why not make it the best I can make it? So it'll be power snatch and pause back squat tomorrow. So you'll get to see all that. We'll have a whole lot of fun together. And if I need a little bit of a kick, half a scoop of pre-workout, we'll do half a scoop. Because I don't want to do too much, but I also don't want to send myself in the gym feeling like shit and going in with a negative mindset that'll fuck me up for down the road, So I'll be back, as always. I appreciate you hearing me out. I love talking to you guys. It's really good to get this shit out because, no matter what people think or what backlash these kinds of takes can have, it's nice to be able to express myself openly and just, relate with my peers. So I love you, and I will be back tomorrow. See ya.